Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for Friday, April 25, 2025 are here. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Eric Forrester, John McCook, and Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye, to be excited as the fashion show gets underway. Meanwhile, everyone gets concerned when Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, and Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, disappear. At the fashion show, Eric has promised that there will be a little magic and a little mystery. Eric and Brooke have something special planned. It's something that is supposed to be unveiled during the fashion show. Eric and Brooke's surprise is going to hit a complication though. While Eric is hoping that the showstopper will turn heads, he has a problem. It is Brooke's turn to come out, but she can't be found anywhere. It isn't like Brooke to just disappear, especially during an important event like this. There is also the surprise, which Eric and Brooke hope will convince Ridge to reconsider his life choices. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for tomorrow reveal that it won't just be Brooke who is missing. Taylor is also gone, which makes Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Missins Wood, worry. Of course, this hiccup will force Eric to do some damage control and quick thinking. At some point, Taylor and Brooke are found. In fact, expect Brooke to accuse Taylor of locking her in there on purpose. Of course, Taylor will deny it and claim it was an accident. Brooke could reason that Taylor's constant interference in business is now costing them money. Not to mention causing some embarrassment, not just on Brooke's part, but on Forrester Creations as well. Fans also might see Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, to continue thinking about Hope Logan, Annika Noel. While Carter got his job back, he can't get Hope off of his mind. Carter might want Hope to be involved in the excitement of the fashion show despite her actions. Now the Forresters took Carter back, but told him they would not accept Hope. At the time, they were talking about business. I could see Steffi throwing a fit if Carter and Hope reunite. Despite Daphne Rose's, Muriel Hilaire, best efforts, Carter's heart still beats for his former flame. The sun rose over Los Angeles with a deceptive calmness that didn't mirror the chaos swirling within the Forrester and Logan families. By mid-morning, it was clear. Brooke Logan was missing, and the ripple effect of her disappearance had just begun. Act 1. A silent phone. A vanished Brooke. Hope Logan paced anxiously across the living room of the Logan estate, her phone clenched tightly in her hand. She had left 7 voicemails for her mother, each more panicked than the last. Brooke hadn't returned home the night before, and that in itself was worrying. But what really set Hope on edge was the strange text Brooke had sent just after midnight. "I need to do this alone. Don't look for me." Hope showed the text to Ridge, who had rushed over the moment he heard. He stared at the screen with a furrowed brow and muttered, "She's not the type to just walk away, not without saying where or why." "I think something's wrong," Hope whispered, her voice cracking. "This isn't like her, Dad." Ridge didn't answer. He was already dialing a number, Charlie from Forrester Security. "I want to know if Brooke's car was picked up anywhere on the company GPS. And check every security camera from here to Big Bear," he snapped. But no one knew yet that Brooke's car had been found abandoned on the edge of Mulholland Drive. Door ajar. Purse still in the passenger seat, but no sign of her. Act 2. Carter's Spiral. A dangerous obsession. Meanwhile, across town at Forrester Creations, Carter Walton stood by the window of his office, staring blankly out at the city below. He hadn't slept. His suit jacket was wrinkled, his shirt half unbuttoned. His assistant nervously knocked on the door, holding the finalized contracts for the upcoming couture line, but Carter waved them away. "I'll deal with it later," he said, barely audible. Since Quinn had left town, Carter had been spiraling, quietly, professionally. But today, the mask had finally slipped. His thoughts were not on the Forrester legacy or legal documents, but on Brooke. He remembered their kiss, the one nobody was supposed to know about. The one that happened months ago in a moment of weakness, lust, and heartbreak. Brooke had brushed it off, said it was a mistake. But Carter hadn't. Not in his heart. He couldn't stop thinking about her. And now she was missing. "Don't look for me," he repeated to himself, rereading her cryptic message. But maybe she wanted me to look. He opened a drawer and pulled out a small velvet box. Inside was a bracelet he designed and custom made. He was going to give it to her once. He thought about slipping it into her office, pretending it was a thank you gift. But now he clutched it like a token of fate. He didn't care if it was delusion or desperation. Carter was convinced. Brooke didn't just vanish. Something happened. And if Ridge and Hope were going to look for her like she was some damsel needing rescue, Carter was going to do something different. He was going to follow the feelings she tried to hide, and he'd start with the cabin she once told him about near Lake Arrowhead. Act 3. Eric's Big Surprise. Legacy Rewritten. At the Forrester mansion, Eric Forrester stood in the grand living room with Donna, nervously adjusting the cuff of his designer jacket. A smile tugged at the corner of his lips. "I can't believe you pulled this off," Donna whispered, glowing beside him. "You know me," Eric said with a wink. "When I want something done, I do it grandly." The doorbell rang, and the staff rushed to open the front door. In walked Zend, Paris, and even Thorne, who had flown in from Paris just hours ago. Everyone had been invited for what was simply dubbed a family announcement. "Is this about the foundation?" Zend asked, trying to read his grandfather's expression. Eric gestured for everyone to sit. The room quieted. "I've been thinking a lot about legacy," Eric began. "About what it means to leave behind not just a name or a brand, but something lasting, something that reflects who I am at my core." Ridge, who had shown up late and distracted, still worried about Brooke, finally looked up from his phone. Eric continued, "Today, I'm officially launching the Eric Forrester Foundation for Design and Creativity, a charitable trust that will fund scholarships for young, underprivileged designers across the country. I'm putting a substantial portion of my personal estate into it." There was stunned silence before a round of applause broke out. Even Ridge stood and hugged his father, surprised but deeply moved. "I thought this was going to be about business," Ridge admitted. "But this is amazing, Dad." Eric wasn't finished, and there's more. "I want Zen to take the lead in representing the foundation publicly. He'll be the face of the next generation of Forrester legacy." Zendi froze. "Me?" Eric smiled. "You've earned it." Donna squeezed Eric's hand, clearly proud. But behind her smile, there was concern in her eyes. She knew what Eric wasn't saying, that this foundation might also be a way of preparing for the future. The kind of future that might not include him much longer. Act 4. Ridge's Crossroads. Torn between guilt and suspicion. As the Forrester gathering wound down, Ridge stepped outside to call Hope again. "Anything?" he asked. "Nothing," she answered. "No calls. No messages. I even checked her iCloud. She turned off location sharing." "I'm calling Bill," Ridge muttered. "Maybe he can help us track her down." But Ridge's next move was unexpected. After ending the call, he stared at the horizon, then turned back toward the house. "I need to talk to Carter," he said to himself. Minutes later, Ridge was at Carter's office. But Carter wasn't there. His assistant said he'd left in a hurry, said something about important legal matters up north. That's when Ridge's instincts kicked in. Carter had been off for weeks, moody, preoccupied, distant. Ridge had noticed how Carter looked at Brooke when he thought no one was watching. Was it possible he knew more than he was letting on? Ridge wasn't about to sit back. He ordered Charlie to pull any security footage from the Forrester building involving Carter and Brooke over the past 48 hours. He was beginning to suspect that Carter wasn't just worried about Brooke. He might be involved in her disappearance. Act 5. Brooke's whereabouts, alone or taken. A shaky handheld camera panned across the interior of a dimly lit cabin. A woman's silhouette moved slowly across the screen, her hair tousled, her jacket dusty, her eyes tired but determined. It was Brooke. She sat in front of the camera and whispered, "If you're watching this, I'm okay. I needed time. I needed to be alone. I couldn't breathe, not with everyone watching, judging, expecting." She paused, clearly emotional. This isn't about Ridge, or Hope, or anyone else. It's about me. I've spent my whole life being defined by other people's love, fighting for it, losing it, chasing it. But I forgot who I am. She took a deep breath. So if you don't hear from me for a while, don't panic. I just need to find the woman I want to be. Not Brooke the seductress, not Brooke the mother or the mistake. Just me. She ended the recording and placed the phone on airplane mode. Outside, the wind howled. But inside, Brooke felt something she hadn't in a long time, clarity. But what she didn't know, what she couldn't possibly know, was that someone had followed her. A shadow lingered just outside the window. Watching. Waiting. And it wasn't Ridge. Act 6. Final moments. Questions without answers. Back in LA, Hope sat in her bedroom, staring at a framed photo of her and her mother. Her fingers trembled as she whispered, "Please come back. Please." Ridge, at the Forrester office, stared at the security footage. The footage didn't show anything definitive, just Carter lingering outside Brooke's office after hours. Watching. Waiting. And Carter. He was already halfway to Lake Arrowhead. The bracelet in his pocket, his GPS pointed toward the cabin Brooke had once described in a moment of trust. But the question lingered, was Carter trying to rescue Brooke, or possess her? At the Forrester estate, Eric stood before the fireplace, the announcement over, but the weight of legacy still heavy on his shoulders. He looked up at a painting of Stephanie and said softly, "I hope I'm doing right by them all." As the screen faded to black, the final frame zoomed in on Brooke's phone, now on airplane mode, ringing silently in the dark. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUTFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.